Good morning everyone. This is Alimunisa Sheikh from Department of Civil Engineering. Today I would like to take a small lecture on estimation, costing and valuation. Okay, I'm going to take a small lecture on estimation, costing and valuation generally, which is called as ECV, where E means estimation, V is called as your costing and V for your valuation. In this topic, I would like to take two small subtopics which are introduction and general items of work in building. In this, let us go to the introduction of our estimation, costing and valuation. What do we mean about estimation? Estimation is the scientific way of working out the approximate cost of an engineering project before the execution of work. With the help of this estimation, the owner and the engineer will get an approximate knowledge about the volume of work that can be completed within the limits of the probable cost that may be required to complete the proposed work. This is called as estimation. Now let us know about the costing. In costing, generally we analyze the cost and calculate the cost for each unit of work what we are going to do. And this cost depends on the judgment of the scheduling code, that we have different schedule codes. As we know, code of constructions will be using the scheduling codes in each situation, and it includes the cost of material, labors and others. Others generally mean machineries and additional transportation charges whatever is required during the construction. This is about costing. Now let us know about valuation. Valuation is the technique of estimation or determining the fair price or value of property such as building, factory and other engineering structures of various types, various lands, etc. By this valuation, the present value of a property is defined. The present value of property may be decided by its selling price or income or rent it may fetch. The value of a property basically depends on its structure, life, maintenance, location and the bank interest, etc. So this is about estimation, costing and valuation in brief. Now let us go into the main topic, that is introduction to our estimation. For all engineers, while going to the introduction, let me write it first. For all engineering works, it is required to know beforehand the probable cost of construction, which is known as the estimated cost. If the estimated cost is greater than the money available, then attempts are made to reduce the cost by reducing the work or by changing the specifications. As I discussed before, specification is nothing but your scheduling codes. Okay. Based on the scheduling codes or specifications, will be changing the cost of construction, which is changing every day, day by day. In preparing an estimate, the quantity of different items of work are calculated by simple mensural method, and from these quantities the cost is calculated. Generally, the calculations mainly consist into three categories. First one is length into breadth into height. For calculating the estimate, generally we use three different categories, in which your first one is length, breadth and height method. Your second one is length into breadth method, and the third one is length into height. Using these three categories, we generally estimate the cost of construction. It is therefore necessary to prepare the probable cost or estimate for the proposed work from its plan and specification. For this calculations also, we generally use plan of the structure, that is design, drawing, everything. And the second one we use is specification. For calculating our estimation, we generally use plan and specification, Otherwise, it may so happen that the work has to be stopped before its completion due to the shortage of funds or for materials. Besides this, an estimate for any public construction work is required to be prepared and submit beforehand so that sanctioning of necessary funds sanctioning of necessary funds may be obtained from the authority concerned. Estimation is generally prepared by calculating the quantities and cost of the various items required in connection with the work. Here we have different items or different requirements based on which the cost of construction can be estimated. Okay. Now let us move on to the next topic, that is purpose of estimation. Mainly this purpose of estimation contains 9 different purposes in which estimation for a work of project is necessary mainly for the following purposes. First one is to ascertain, okay, let me write it first. Purpose of estimation. In this purpose of estimation, this is categorized into 9 types or 9 purposes. In which first one is to ascertain the necessary amount of money required by the owner to complete the proposed work. For public construction works, estimations are required in order to obtain administrative approval, allotment of funds and technical sanctioning. That is the first purpose of estimation. This is generally used to ascertain necessary amount of fund required for major projects. The second purpose is to ascertain quantities of materials required in order to program the timely procurement to procure controlled materials like cement, steel, etc., which are high in cost. Okay, here what we do is, this is necessary to ascertain the quantity of materials, not only cement and steel, but we have different materials, but the cost of cement and steel is more compared to the other material. So this is the second purpose of estimation, is to calculate the quantity of materials required for the construction. The third purpose, to calculate the number of different categories of workers that are to be employed to complete the work within the scheduled time of completion. Here this is required to calculate types of workers. Types of workers means, here generally we have 3 types of workers. First one is workmen, mason and female workers. These are the different types of workers that are basically used in any type of constructions. So this purpose, the third purpose is to calculate the types of workers and how many persons are required for the completion of the work for every day. That is the third purpose. Next, fourth purpose is to assess the requirement of tools, plants and equipment required to complete the work according to the program. This is for calculating the tools, that is machinery, tools or machineries, tools and machineries. Tools are different and machineries are different. Tools and machineries that are required for everyday work, because every day we don't use both tools and machineries at a time. Basically for the footing steps we go for tools, and for higher constructions we generally go for machineries. This is the fourth purpose of estimation. Now let us go, fifth purpose. Okay, let me go to the next page. Next, fifth purpose is to fix up the completion period for the volume of works involved in the estimation. Fixing up of work is done in fifth purpose. Fixing up of work. Next, sixth purpose is to draw up a construction schedule and program, and also to arrange the funds required according to the program. Here will be drawing. Drawing is nothing but where we'll be collecting materials, men, machineries, everything whatever is required during our construction. Drawing up a construction schedule. That is the sixth purpose. Generally we have a different subject for this, PERT and CPM, where we'll be learning how to schedule the works. Okay. Now our next purpose is to justify the investment from benefit cost ratios. Here what we are going to invest and how much quantity of work that is going to be completed during that day. We'll be doing a benefit cost ratio. And the seventh purpose. And the eighth purpose is to invite tenders and prepare bills for payments. Here we'll be inviting tenders and contracts for high-rise buildings or high-rise structures. And the last purpose is an estimate for an existing property is required for valuation. And the last purpose is for any existing property, valuation and estimation is basically required. That is our ninth purpose of estimation. Now let us move on to the next topic, that is general items of work in building. Okay. Now let me go to the next topic. General items of work. I'm writing it here. General items of works in a building or structure, anything. Let me write building only. Okay, I've written it. This is the general items of work involved in the estimation for a building along with the process of calculation are listed below. The unit of payment mode of measurements are classified based on the mode of measurements from Article 4.4. This is the Article 4.4, which is used for scheduling cost or specification. Let me write it as specification. Okay. The nomenclature of the items are given in abstract of building estimates. The general items of work for buildings are, we basically have 18 types of works, that is general items of works. Let me write one by one. First one is earthwork in excavation for foundation trenches. Second one is earthwork for filling. Earthwork, this first one is for excavation. Second is for filling. Third one is brick flat soling. Next, cement or lime concrete in foundation. Next one is masonry work in foundation and plinth. Okay, before going to the next page, let us know what each work mean. Here earthwork is nothing but first one is earthwork in excavation. Earth is excavated for founding trenches. Trenches is nothing but openings where we'll be putting out our footings to the exact width and depth of foundation, with vertical sides and the bottoms leveled both longitudinally and traversely. The quantity of earthwork is calculated in cubic meters. Generally this earthwork is calculated, both the earthworks are calculated, let me write it here. Both earthworks are calculated in cubic meters. And multiplying the actual required length. And this multiplication process, I said it before in the starting introduction only, that we basically do in three different types. First is length, breadth and depth. Second one is length into breadth. Third one is length into depth or length into height. So that are the three things. When we get this cubic meter, we will be calculating it in all the three dimensions. That is length into breadth into depth or height. It may be D or H. This earthwork is basically measured in cubic meters, where we will be calculating the length of the excavation, breadth of the excavation and depth or height of the excavation. That is about earthwork. When it comes to earthwork and filling, earthworks are engineering works created through the moving process of massive quantities of soil or unformed rocks. Earthwork is done to reconfigure the topography of a site to achieve the design level, and this earthwork involves cutting and filling to achieve the required topography. Here earthwork in excavation means this is generally done for footing and foundation things. The next filling process is nothing but whatever trenches we have been opened, we have to fill the entire opening. So what we do is we'll take additional soil and we'll put on. After our footing or foundation is laid, we'll be filling the entire opening with the use of soil. This is called as, this open trench is filled after construction is done. With the help of soil, we'll be filling out the entire excavated region. That is called an earthwork and filling. Now let us move to the brick flat soling. Sorry. Brick soling is the process of arranging the bricks for lime concrete and foundation. Brick soling is not provided as concrete requires ramming. Brick soling is nothing but arrangement of bricks in order to get a particular shape of construction. Generally, this brick soling is mostly seen in our parking regions, and in nowadays we are using this as our payment zones. Soling is worked out in square meters. This is calculated in square meters. When we are getting things in square meters, it is nothing but we are calculating length into breadth or length into depth or height. Okay. When we are getting cubic meters, it is in all three dimensions. When we are getting square meters, we are calculating the values in only two directions, whether it may be length into breadth or length into depth into height. Okay, that is about brick flat soling. Now let us move on to the next topic, that is cement or lime concrete and foundation. The volume is computed in cubic meters. Here we are calculating this in cubic meters, means length, breadth and height. All the three dimensions are used. Length, breadth and depth of concrete, dimensions of length and breadth for concrete remains the same as that of earthwork when the sections of all walls are constructed. That is about cement or lime concrete in foundation. Now let us move on to the next. What is the fifth one? This is masonry work in foundation and plinth. Here the volumes of different offsets of layers and plinth walls are calculated one by one in cubic meters. This is also calculated in cubic meter, multiplying their individual length, breadth and thickness or height. Here this is masonry work in foundation and plinth. Here instead of using depth and height, we will be calculating it by using length, breadth into thickness. As there is no opening in the wall up to the plinth, no deduction is required. This is about masonry work in foundation. Now let us move to the next page. Just a minute. Okay. We have completed 5 types. Now let us move on to the next work. Sixth one is damp proof course. Let me write it. Damp proof course, which is called as DPC. Next one, masonry work in foundation. And plinth. Sorry, this is completed. Masonry work in, just a minute. Masonry work in superstructure walls. And the eighth one is 10 centimeter thick brickness or brickwork. Next we have is RCC or RB. RCC is reinforced cement concrete, and where RB means reinforced brick. And the 10th one is centering and shuttering. 11th one we have is steel work. Next is lime terracing. The 13th work we do is woodwork for doors and windows. Okay, let us go to the topics one by one. First one is your damp proof coursing. Okay, this is usually a layer of cement concrete mixture in the portion 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4 mixed with waterproofing compounds laid in between the plinth and superstructure walls to prevent the rise of water by capillary action from the ground, and only the area in between the plinth and superstructure wall should be considered in the calculation to find out the quantity of DPC. Generally here what we do is we'll be using 1:4 ratios for calculating the damp proof course. For masonry work in superstructure, for walls up to 1 brick thickness, that is 20 centimeters, the volume is calculated in cubic meters. Here we do the volume in cubic meters, which is length, breadth and height. After calculating the volume of brick, standard deduction for volumes of openings, that is lintels, openings and lintels or any such others are made as per standard rules of deduction prescribed by IS 1200 to arrive at the estimate quantity of brickwork. Here we will be using the estimation scheduling rate of IS 1200, IS 1200 for arriving the estimate quantity of brickwork. So that is about masonry work in superstructure. Openings is nothing but your doors and windows. Okay, here I have said a word openings and lintels. Lintel means a small beam, which you all know, which is passed over your height of door level. That is your lintel. And opening is nothing but your doors and windows. Wherever we are putting door or window, that is considered as your opening. Now let's move on to the next topic, that is 10 centimeter thick brickwork. 10 centimeter thick brickwork, or when the length of brick are laid parallel to the wall, the quantity of brickwork is computed in square meters, that is length into height. This is calculated in square meters, that is length into height. Thickness is described in the description column. Any brickwork more than 10 centimeter or half brick be accounted separately. So this is done about 10 centimeter thick brickwork. Next, let us move on to the next heading, that is RCC or RB, where RCC means reinforced cement concrete and RB means reinforced brick. Here reinforced concrete may be used in columns, lintels, beams and roof, slabs, etc. This quantity is worked out in cubic meters. All this quantity is worked out in cubic meters, that is length, breadth and depth. Here depth is taken, including reinforcement. The volume of occupied reinforcement is not deduction from the volume of concrete. If reinforcement or shuttering are included and considered as a consolidated one item, this should be fully described and measured in cubic meters. Reinforced brickwork in lintels and roof slabs is measured in cubic meters, as in case of RCC, Chhaja is included with RCC work. Chhaja is nothing but your shadow part. In front of window, we'll be putting a shadow thing for getting shadow, for protecting from rain, that is called as your chhaja. Okay, now let us move on to the next, centering and shuttering. The cost of form work Centering and shuttering is nothing but all the formwork that is basically done before our slab is putting on. Before putting slab, we'll be arranging all the wooden sticks and some flat roof so that we'll get a flat slab. That is called as your centering and shuttering. The cost of formwork is about 30% of cement concrete. Specified from work is measured separately in square meters, and this is calculated in square meters multiplying length and breadth. Measurement is taken as the actual surface is in contact with concrete or any other materials requiring formwork. Generally, the surface area of the built up concrete member is measured for centering and shuttering. Now let us move on to the next one, that is steel work. Steel is a mass use. This is measured by weight in quintals. Including bending and binding position. No separate payment is made for binding wire. The weight of reinforcement may be calculated from the percentage volume in the RCC, such as 0.8% or 1%. Reinforcement in roof slab. Say 1% reinforcement is used in roof slab, then volume of reinforcement is calculated in cubic meters, which is equal to 78.5 quintals. In estimating the reinforcement, the diameter of bar is stated and its length is measured including standard crank, overlapping and end hooks. Crank is nothing but bending up. Overlapping is arranging another rod. And end hook is nothing but where we'll be producing it as hooking system. This is about steel work. Next one is lime terracing. This is calculated in square meters. This is generally calculated in square meters, that is length into breadth. The average consolidated thickness is described. The clear surface area between parapet is measured. The inserted portion is accounted as brickwork for parapet. This is about lime terracing. Now let us move on to the next one, that is woodwork for doors and windows. Here this woodwork is subdivided into two categories. First one is woodwork for doors and windows with frame. Doors and windows with frame. The second one is woodwork for doors and windows leaves or shutters. Here this woodwork is divided into two categories. First one is woodwork for doors and windows with window frame. Second one is doors and windows leaves or shutters. Okay, let's go to the first one. The quantity is worked out in cubic meters for both. The total length of frame is found first and this is multiplied by two sides of its cross section. Doors are now provided without bottom sill, so that total length of door frame is equal to total length of door frame is equal to 2 verticals plus 1 top size of door. Total length of door frame is equal to 2 verticals plus 1 top size of door or window, means size of the opening. For windows frame with bottom sill and with an intermediate member in between the top and bottom members, total length is calculated as total length is equal to 2 verticals plus 3 horizontals. For window frame which is having bottom sill and having an intermediate member in between top and bottom members, the total length is calculated as total length is equal to 2 verticals plus 3 horizontals. So this is about doors and window frames. Now let us move to the next one, that is doors and windows, leaves or shutters. These shutters are measured in square meters, multiplying the height by the breadth. Here instead of taking length, we will be calculating height and breadth. The depth of rivets in frames usually is 1.25 centimeters to 2 centimeter is added in the measurement. For double shutters, the overlapping at the center in between the leaves is not accounted. For free movement of shutters, a small gap of about 5 mm for free movement a gap of about 5 mm is provided at the bottom of shutters. Considering the high cost of shutters, measurement should be taken excluding the clearances. Measurement should be taken excluding the clearances. So this is about doors and windows, leaves or shutters. Now let's move to the next one, that is mild steel. Next one is mild steel, clamp or hold fast. This item is enumerated, that is counted by number in the estimate. Here instead of using the quantities, quintals, kgs, kilos, we go for counting the numbers for mild steel. Generally 6 numbers of clamps at 3 numbers for every vertical member for door frames are provided in the estimation. For window frames, 4 numbers of clamps at every 2 numbers for each vertical are considered. The size and type of clamp is stated in the description. The item may also be paid in kg after measuring the weight of one such member. This item includes fitting, and fixing with cement concrete, which is in 1:4 ratios. Cost of cement concrete may be included or paid separately. Here the cost of cement may be included or paid separately. The next what we have is, the next thing is flooring. 15th one is, oh sorry, this is 14th one. Fifteenth is this flooring is divided into two types. First one is flooring for ground floor, and the second one is flooring for first floor or subsequent top floors. For ground floor means floor on plinth. The floor consists of two parts. First in bottom or bed of floor, usually provided with 7.5 centimeter thick lime concrete, that is in ratio of 1.5:2:7. This is the ratio of bottom or bed or floor. Or concrete ratio is 1:3:6. Concrete ratio will be 1:3:6 over a brick flat soling contaminating of green concrete with earth below it. The top part above the base, which may be of different types such as 20 mm to 35 mm thick, artificial stone flooring finished with 3 mm to 6 mm thick topping with coloring pigment, highly polished and grinded. The top part may be 9 mm to 12 mm terrazzo or 20 mm thick worked precast tile set in lime or concrete mortar bed. So this is about flooring of ground floor. Here we'll be using different types of materials for ground flooring, whether it may be your marbles or whether it may be your tiles or any other thing, granite. We have many things for floorings. We'll be using ratio of cement concrete as 1:3:6 for bottom or bed floor. Then let us move on to the next thing, that is first floor or subsequent top floors. This flooring is done on the roof of the lower story, so that flooring requires only the top part. Here plinth is not included. For first flooring, plinth is included, and for first or subsequent tops, plinth is not included. To make a finished top of the roof surface, a layer of 25 mm to 40 mm thick cement concrete, 25 to 40 mm thick cement concrete, which is in ratio 1:4, with 5 mm stone chips, is provided in case of artificial stone flooring. In the case of terrazzo work, a layer of cement or lime concrete mortar bed is provided. This is about first flooring or subsequent top floors. In this also we can use different types of materials. It may be tiles, marbles, granites or any other things. Or it may be a plain concrete, plain CC. So we can go for any type of flooring. The next work we have is sixteenth one, which is work for the items, plastering and painting. This is done after fixing the doors and window frames, and these items are described in our article 4 to 5 in our schedules. This is also taken in square meters, which is length into thickness, where we'll be including the length and thickness of the plastering or painting that is done on the walls. So next step what we have is, next item of work is whitewashing or coloring. This is also taken from the article number 69 and 70 of article 4 to 5. Coloring or distempering. Here we have to use article 4 to 5 and item number is 71. 71 of Article 4 to 5. This is also calculated in square meters, where length and thickness of the painting is taken. And the last one we have is painting to window work. And for any other items of building work, we'll be describing from the article number 71. Here it is also painting, no? So we can go for article 71. Sorry, item number 71 of article 4 to 5. Painting, this is also calculated in square meters, where we'll be taking length and thickness of the paint or whatever material that is used for painting. So these are the different items of works we are having. That's about today's session. I think everyone have a clear vision of it. If you are having doubts, I'll be clarifying it later. Thank you.